Happy Halloween, everyone. Please be safe. If you're going out there, be safe. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I know it's a couple of days, it's not today, but people start celebrating since yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, before I even start, I'd like to say to N. Tozaki Shang, the author of for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough, rest in power. Ladies and gentlemen, I was touched when I heard of her death. Her because this lady's book was what was thrown to me to sort of destine my career in theater. I was in college and I joined the Talent Unique Club. And when I joined that club, there was this model, modeling agent that came in, and they said, okay, train a couple of the students and then we're going to put them in the fashion show and stuff and put them in, and maybe they might get a contract. However, I practiced with 6-inch heels for I would say a whole 6 months, and was very, very disappointed when they went around and they went 1, 2, 3, 4 and skipped me. Why? Because they didn't want 4'11" model at that time. Thank God things change now. So I was devastated and I started complaining because I felt like if I wasn't going to be chosen, then why did I have to go through the torture of practicing for 6 months? And at that point, they threw this book at me, for colored girls who have considered suicide when a rainbow is enough. And they said to me, listen, if you could learn a monologue from this, you'll definitely be in the show. So I went home and I studied every single line. I fell in love, literally fell in love with her and her work. And of course, once I got a standing ovation for Lady in Green. So in life, sometimes you go through one thing, and if you just let it go, you'll lead to something else. And so this is really, really touching for me. And I would like to say again, for Eno Tazaki Shang, rest in power. She's definitely been in my icon. I've had many icons. I've had Maya Angelou, Alice Walker, and so many other women and male writers and poets who have touched me, even Langston Hughes who have touched me. But ladies and gentlemen, today, as we're talking about things that touch us, I would like to let you know my book. I am an author of a book called Colored Flames, the anthology of contemporary dramatic plays, 5 plays in one book. And today I would read a little bit from So Love to You. A lot has happened in this society, which always brings me back to my book, Colored Flames. October 16th, a young boy was accused of touching a white woman's butt. And it's funny because the camera's running, and this little boy, of course, was found to be innocent. He was just with his knapsack, with his mommy, and as he passed by, his knapsack brushes the woman's behind. And it became the biggest media coverage. Every channel had this little black boy alligating to touch this white woman's behind. And I am appalled. I am appalled because the first thing that came into my mind was the 1955 horrendous case of Emmett Till, where this little boy was tortured and murdered because they said he whistled at a white woman, only to find out years later it did not happen. Isn't that sad? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we at today. And it is a touching situation where I'm beginning to wonder. I said, what would make this woman even consider the thought of having such an allegation to a 9-year-old boy if she just did not have enough respect for black people? And I was wondering, I was like, if this little boy was a white boy, Would she have done that? And would the media have covered it? Such like Channel 2 News, the newspaper. I can't even get them to cover me on anything. Yet they covered this case like it was the biggest offense. Ladies and gentlemen, we're living in a society where segregation is not the case, so we believe. I mean, we've marrying each other, we have integrated school, integrated churches, integrated businesses. I mean, African Americans and people of color have reached the greatest height. I mean, think about it. I mean, like we have doctors and lawyers and nurses. Yes, I'm a nurse. I love it. Nurses and writers and poets and architects and computer experts and accountants and even in the White House. Yet, what's happening? We're still being considered what? What? Second class citizens? Where we have to have a case like this to no one is, I mean, it's amazing. Anyway, and fortunately, I like how the media's and the Republic has responded to this case. But we don't want that to happen again. Now, I'm going to read a piece, my introduction from Soul Love, which is relating to what is happening right now. We are in the new millennium, yet not much have changed. I hope to inspire my readers to live in harmony. If only we could eradicate the evils of history, wouldn't this world be a better place to live? On a daily basis, we face a lot of challenges, and it seems to me that we become more advanced, yet we're still very much segregated. A very hard word to use, as many of our ancestors died in the struggles of equal rights in America for all citizens to be treated equally. Yet in our reality, 153 years of freedom isn't enough to change the heart of so many people who have looked at Black people as second-class citizens for 399 years. Actually, August 2019 will make 400 years since slavery was documented in America. Since that time, a lot of achievement and greatness have been documented but not made enough available to the public school. I heard someone says one time, if you want to keep knowledge from Black people, put it in a book. Now, I didn't say it, and I can't recall where I got this information from, but I'm encouraging people to please take heed to what is being said. The majority of the Black history courses are only available in curriculums of higher learning. In retrospect, to keep any group in poverty, deny them education, to purposely not teach them of the greatness of a people is surely a way of destructing of the mind. A very eloquent speaker, writer, Ivan Van Sertima, wrote a book entitled Black in Science. It was one of the first books I read independently that gave me the idea of African American contribution. I found it curious that the knowledge of Lewis Latimer, who invented the light bulb, wasn't in any school books I've ever read. Thomas Edison, however, I remember questioning my history in college, my history teacher in college, and his response was that he didn't write the history book, he taught it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand, to encourage our children and our school system to please teach as much as Black history so a lady like that can read it, of all the greatness of the contribution of the African American people as well as people of color, so we do not have a repeat of this. Peace and blessing. The book is called Colored Flames, an anthology of contemporary dramatic plays, 5 plays in one book. You can get my book at Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and you can also get it from me at flowmills78@gmail.com. Have a great Halloween. Be safe.